Yo, this is WSoul13 bringing you Raid Shadow Legends. So today we're gonna be looking at exactly what it took for me to get Lydia. This isn't some kind of, oh, you need these exact champs or this exact number of 6 stars, right? It's just a quick overview of what it takes, how long it takes, and what you could expect when you do your Lydia run. Alright? So, let's check it out real quick. Faction Wars. Lydia is available, baby. Let's see if I can. There we go. Oh, cool. Very cool. See? Right there. My girl Lydia. Alright. Huh, that's actually really, really cool. Let's put that out like that. There we go. Nice. Anyways, check this out, guys. This is exactly what it will take for you to get Lydia. Okay? We're gonna go through it faction by faction. For Bannerlords, it took me 5 6-star champs to get Lydia. You could probably have gotten away with it with less if I only had Septimus on lifesteal gear earlier, but you know, I delayed it. The reason why I delayed it was because my Knight Revenant team was not gonna make it anyway. There's really no point in rushing. And then these champs I 6-starred, like Dagger for instance, could have a particular purpose in the attack rare secret room. So how you look at Faction Wars is you play progressions first, right? So dungeons to stage 20 first, and then getting them to farming, getting them to be more convenient for you to play, right? So you put up champs that'll help you there, and then you think about Doom Tower, you think about Arena, and while you're doing that, you're leveling up champs that will help you in Faction Wars as well, right? So you have a choice between, I don't know, Dagger and another decreased def champ like Tyrell, right? Well, I don't need Tyrell in my Faction Wars team because I finished Elves very early, so I didn't put up Tyrell instead of Dagger. Is Dagger better than Tyrell? Of course not. Tyrell is way better. But for my particular needs, I don't need Tyrell as much, right? But Dagger can help out my Bannerlords team. That's how you go about upgrading, guys. So hopefully that helps you out. So for High Elves, okay, once you get Arbiter, High Elves should be achievable with basically whoever you want, right? I'm farming stage 21 with somebody like Marksman, who most people don't even know exists now because there's so many good poisoners in the game now. But Marksman has this A1, right? If it crits, it puts a poison up, and it can give you an extra turn. So he's actually not bad in Clan Boss. I used him in Clan Boss a lot to get I think the most I got was a 2 key in Nightmare with him, but usually it was a 4 or 3 key back in the day, back when I was coming up in the game. Apothecary, one of the best rares in the game, right? This is how you kind of go through what you want to do with Faction Wars. You just progress through the game, and then eventually you're gonna get like higher level guys up, right? And when I first finished High Elves Faction Wars, of course, Royal Guard is amazing in dungeons to clear dungeons fast, right? But when I first finished Faction Wars for High Elves, I had a level 40 Vergus in that team with no Ascension. It's this exact same Vergus. He was level 40. I put him up to 50 because I think eventually I might have to 6-star him to become a solo champ for Scarab King. We'll see. But that is in the works. So the next one is what's this? The next one is Sacred Order. For Sacred Order, I put up I think 4 6-star champs, and the reason why I put them up was because of a secret room in normal Doom Tower that I couldn't beat before. So I put them up for the next rotation, and then I used them. And hey kids, Morning.
Morning.
So I put them up and I use them. And so, what is the key ingredient of a strong Faction Wars team? The first one is a reviver, right? So that's why if you pulled Arbiter, well, then you're done. But as you see with my Bannerlords team, you don't need a reviver to get a 3-star in stage 21. You know, it has to have synergy, right? So, check this out. Cardinal was my reviver for what is this, Sacred Order, and I actually pulled for her in 10x. I think, did I? She might have been a 10x pull for me. I'm not quite sure, but the reality is, once you have a reviver, your team has to be built around the reviver. That's it. So I got Hope here. Hope here to take the buffs away and also put shields up. And then Juliana does the damage, right? Although I think she's missing a piece. Okay, so we can fix that real quick. She needs a lifesteal glove. Right, so we're repairing on the fly here, guys. Oh, crit rate. That's pretty good. Okay, let's use that one. Great. So Juliana right here. Okay. And then there is Armiger. Everybody knows you should put Armiger up, right? If you're free to play low spender, Armiger helps you with so many parts of the game. And then here's how you can recover from a mistake like mine. Oh, he's missing something. Actually, I can probably replace him with Lordric Falconheart now. There's really not much purpose to this now, but you know, let's just complete that set there, right there. Here we go. So this was one of my biggest mistakes when I first started the game. I fully booked out Romero. Why? Because he was one of my first epics and I didn't know what I was doing. And I thought, hey, I'm going to pull Juliana at some point, you know? Why not, right? It took me forever to pull Juliana. Basically, after I got Arbiter, I think, was when I got Juliana. And then I put up a second Armiger for Scarab King. Also, Logic Falconheart, right, for Scarab King, since Miscreated Monster stopped working. But this is what I'm talking about right here. Somebody like Astralon, okay? So if you fuse for Astralon and I didn't have any of these champs, he could easily be your damage dealer in this team while also being an arena nuker for you. Really strong champ, right? Fusion champ. So how do you fuel your Faction Wars teams over time? Well, targeted 10x will help. 2x events will help, but I think the number one resource is fusion events, all right? Fusion champs. Actually, like my High Elves team, I had a hard time farming stage 21 with my High Elves team with the level 40 and even the level 50 Vergus in it, right? I just wasn't geared out properly. Everyone wasn't doing their kind of like their best. But Pixniel, right? I just put her in random immortal gear. She's not even like fully immortal geared. She's missing a piece. But she has allowed me to get more consistent stage 21 runs in Faction Wars. So if you pulled her and you kept her level 50, she could be part of your Faction Wars team, right? And she is definitely one of the worst fusion champs for reals, you know? So even the worst fusion champs will have some kind of purpose in Faction Wars, right? So Barbs was the second. Was it the second or the first? It might have been the second or the first. One of my first two Faction Wars 21 that I cleared was Barbs and High Elves. The reason why is High Katoon, you'll always play her, right? So High Katoon to me is the speed lead for my arena team. I used her to beat Spiders 20 without any legendaries when I did the no legendary Spiders 20 run. No Cold Heart either, no Miscreated Monster, no AoE burn, no Royal Guards, nothing like that, alright? That might be a good comp to do a video on sometime, huh? Check this out. War Maiden, okay? War Maiden is part of the F2P Trinity, which is your starter, War Maiden, and High Katoon, right? So 2 members of the F2P Trinity in Barbarians factions. So that means practically, if you get those two, you're on your way to finishing Barbarians. And then finally, I had a level 50 Seal of the Drakes, and she is so good, dude. Even at level 50, she got me through Faction War Stage 21. The only reason I didn't 6-star her was because I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it 6? 5. 5 guys 6-starred, but of course I had to bench one of these guys. I think it ended up being Shield Guard. Because Zephyr Sniper here, who is my tank for Spiders 20 in that Spiders 20 comp I just mentioned, she actually puts a little bit of heals out while also being able to sustain herself with lifesteal, right? But for sure, Sildredrix is the MVP here. So at 6 months into the game, it's basically a shoo-in that you're gonna finish Barbarians Faction Wars. So those two are kind of a given. High Elves and Barbarians, just because of how good they are, right? So let's go to Ogryn tribes. So this is a very good example of how good fusion champs are for Faction Wars. So when I first put this comp out, everyone was like, well, you had Maneater. Well, you had Skullcrusher. That should make it easy. No, not really. No. The only reason I finished Stage 21 on this faction was because of this rare right here, Bellower. Right? Everybody knows Bellower is the best rare in the game, or one of the best rares in the game, depending on who you ask, right? And to me, it's Coldheart, by the way. But yeah, sure, Bellower is definitely up there. So you put him in Sunset, and you let him do his work. But what really, really got me through the Valkyrie waves was Gerptuk, one of the worst fusion champs at the time of release, right? At the time they put him out. It's one of the worst fusion champs. I use him in my speed runs for Spiders 20 with Septimus and Royal Guard to give me more damage. But in Ogryn Tribe, I didn't have a damage dealer. So what is his purpose then? He has a little bit of heal. So this will put a little bit of heal out. But what you really want him on there for is AoE block buffs. 80% chance to place with no books. That's really good. So if you can, it'll help you RNG through the Valk waves by putting out the block buffs on them. All you had to do was give him enough accuracy. So a little over 200 accuracy right there. And then the other guy that helped got me through, another one of these fusion champs that people love to hate, was Drokgul. All right. He helped me out a lot. And I wasn't even on full immortal gear with him, you know. So in general, how you rank is Reviver, Healer, Control, and then Utility for the stage that you need to beat, you know. So for Valkyrie waves, AoE block buffs, amazing. And then Shield and Healing is also very, very good. Drokgul brings both, right? The unkillable from Maneater, very unreliable, because you're going to be taking a lot of turns in Faction Wars. You're just going to be way faster than everybody else. You're going to take a lot of turns. You're going to burn through your buffs. Same thing with Skullcrusher. They're only there for the damage and because they're 6-star champs. So how you kind of like fuel your comps is with 6-star champs. You know, more 6-star champs, more chances to succeed. So this is one of my first few factions that I finished with 3 or less 6-star champs done, right? So for this one, I finished it with only 3 6-star champs. You could, I think the lowest I had was 2. So it's very possible to do this with 2 or even less, you know. Let's skip on to Lizardmen. Lizardmen is also another faction hard carried by my fusion champs, right? Everyone's fixated, oh, but you got Draco Morph, you know? Draco Morph, you can do anything with him. You can do any, yeah, for sure. But Draco Morph, my Draco Morph is outfitted to do budget unkillable. And the budget unkillable builds are not particularly great in Faction Wars, because in Faction Wars you need sustain, you don't need damage as much, right? How I got through? By 6-starring Vergumkar, who I also used to get through Doom Tower when Doom Tower first came out. See, you're looking for plays like that. Plays that'll get you through Faction Wars, also while getting through content that you want to get through. Check this out, man. I had a Razin fused, and he wasn't even 6-star. And he's not even 5-star Ascension. Why? Because the entire team actually ran on Skull Lord Vargal, who everybody else thought was a pretty bad fusion champ when he came out, right? But the reason why you want him is because of this skill right here. This skill allows him to revive Skull Sworn over and over again. So if you could just get Skull-Lord Valgar to take turns while reviving Skull Sworn over and over again, the stage 21 boss for Lizardman, I think, is a single target A1 hitter. So that's it. It just kills Skull Sworn over and over again. You revive him over and over again. And then eventually you're going to win that fight. Now let's take a look at Skinwalkers, who I 6-starred 5 champs for, but I got through with just 4 6-star champs, which is Basher, Ursin Ironhide, Fane, Gnarlhorn, and then Rhine Beast. This is another example of a Faction Wars team that I got through without a reviver, right? So it doesn't mean that you don't have a reviver, that you can't get through Faction Wars 21. That's just not a productive way of looking at things. You gotta analyze all the available champs in your Faction Wars team. See how they interact. So everybody says, but Rhine Beast is a reviver. Yeah, sure. You have to kill an enemy for this revive to work. So that means in the stage 21 boss, you only have maybe a couple of chances to do that because he has 2 adds. But the boss resets his health, you know, so you don't want, right, by swapping health with you. Okay, and then you have 12 turns to beat it. So you don't really want Rhine Beast, you know, reviving, because one, it's almost impossible to get that revive to go off. So how exactly do you do it? Well, I'm relying more on Rhine Beast A1, which gives me continuous heal, and this passive right here, which gives me a shield, but it's only single target. So how do I focus all that damage to one single target? Well, then the answer is Gnarlhorn, of course, one of the best rares in the game, right? Also a requirement to fuse Rosin, so even if you don't have him right now, you're gonna have to pull him at some point to get Rosin, right? And frankly, in my progression, I used them more than I could have used Rosin at that time. But I'm not saying Gnarlhorn is better than Rosin. Everything's kind of like in context, right? Where you're at in the game. That's why it's so hard to... People ask me a lot, like, oh, who would I 6-star next? Context is everything, right? You can't just go Coldheart, Septimus, Royal Guard as your first 3 6-star champs. You know, it's just your account is gonna suck if you do that, right? So Gnarlhorn combines with Rhine Beast and soaks in all the damage. Rhine Beast puts the continuous heal on him and the shields to keep him alive. Fane actually is part of a 1-key team I have for Nightmare Clan Boss. And it's strange because everybody says, oh, but you can't use Fane in regular Clan Boss when you have base defense this low, 727. I only have her at like 1400 depth. So how's that possible? Well, it's a team that had a double ally protect, 3 decrease attack. So decrease attack is always on, and then 2 increased def, right? So it kind of with Brago in it. So Brago also gives a passive def buff on him. So actually, Fane was able to do her job, which is just put the debuffs on. You know, she's not even the main damager in that comp. She just puts the debuffs on. Brago, actually, it was the hard damager of that team. I'll show you Brago later. Taurus was a horrible idea of mine because I thought, oh, I could use him as a slow boy for budget unkillable. It's kind of hard to do because he messes with its HP levels, which then messes with the stun targeting. So what I ended up doing was 6-starring Ursin Ironhide. You actually don't have to 6-star Ursin Ironhide. I just did it because I didn't have enough damage in my team. I didn't have enough. Frankly, I didn't have Steel Skull. So if I had Steel Skull in this slot right here, I would probably have taken Rhine Beast out for Steel Skull and then put Taurus in. So Steel Skull and Taurus are like butter and toast, baby. They're so good together because Taurus will put the poisons out while Steel Skull can keep him top off along with Regen or Immortal set, right? So I think they're a very good combination. And the reason why, actually Rhine Beast and him were kind of good enough to get through. My main problem with that was we were just getting blown up in the boss. So that stage 21 boss is one of the harder bosses in the game. So eventually I'm going to be putting up a full Faction Wars guide, okay? And I'm going to be talking about the boss. It's going to be a written guide, but I'll do videos on it, like piece by piece, you know, how I would do it, if I would do it over again, if I had some champs restricted from me, how I would go about it, and maybe even actually going about it. We'll see. And then I had Brachus in the bank. So if all else failed, I would have just put Brachus up. But it didn't. Here's another one. This is how good a reviver is in this team. And fusion champs fueling my stage 21 team. Yet again, Kreela and Iron Brago, two of the best fusion champs they've ever put out. And coincidentally, both orcs, so I put them all both on the same team. Sandlash Reviver is kind of like the glue that keeps the team together. One of the first 6-star champs I ever did. One of the first 10 probably 6-star champs I did. Combos with Sepulchre Sentinel in Nightmare Clan Boss, or basically any other kind of like buff champ to increase their buffs, durations. But she has some underrated stuff in her set, like Provoke in this A1. And then this right here actually reduces the buff duration by 1 turn of enemies, while also increasing your buff duration, of course. And then we know about this passive right here that gives you ally protect and block damage. And then Nogdar kind of like self-revives, so it gives you a pseudo revive if all 4 are alive. But really, the star of the show, the person that's gonna get you the 3-star, is your reviver, and in this case, it was just Shaman. So free champ you get. Everybody knows how bad she is as an epic champ. Don't book her, don't 6-star her. She's pretty bad, but she is good enough to get through orcs stage 21. Right. So if she's dying in your comps, maybe you can 6-star her and put her in regen gear or something to keep her alive, right? Bump that HP up even higher. Then how much do I have it up? 47,000 HP. That's a lot of HP. Yeah. And then I pulled a dupe Kreela here, and then Seer, so that could have been a comp later I could have done. So check this out. Demon Spawn. Demon Spawn is actually all about Drexstar Blood Twin. Okay. So in about 100 to 200 days, probably closer to 200 days for most people, you're eventually gonna pull Drexstar Blood Twin by just farming 3v3 arena, paying for the fragments in the bazaar, and then you'll need to pair him up with somebody like Umbral Enchantress, one of the best pulls you can have for Demon Spawn Faction Wars. But frankly, even somebody like Achak, you know, Achak is amazing. If you have Achak, she's great. Or even somebody like Diablo List, you can have multiples of them, right? But you definitely need some kind of win condition, some kind of damage. The damage is going to come from Drexstar right here, and as long as everybody has some kind of healing in their comps, like Immortal set, Regen set, you know, you're eventually going to bust through Demon Spawn 21. The crazy part about Demon Spawn is the stage 14 boss is actually pretty hard without a reviver to do, because he does the single target nukes, and it really hurts, especially with the crits. Okay, so I just RNG'd through it basically with all my little champs. Oh, Fellhound doesn't have any gear on him. Well, I'll re-gear him later. Undead. Okay, this is a good case here for Undead. For 10x. So they had a 10x up, I think, for Gorgorab and Seeker at the same time. And that's a win-win for people that don't have their Faction Wars teams built yet. You should definitely at least go for 1 epic when there's a 10x up for like a Faction War star and a Faction War team that you haven't gotten to stage 21 yet. So I got Gorgo, and I promptly 6-starred him. Some of these champs, like Stitch Beast, you know, this was like a failed attempt of mine to try to control the Spider Queen's turn meter. Yeah, Stitch Beast was not good enough for that stage, unfortunately. Frozen Banshee, of course, is one of the best rares in the game for clan boss, right? The poisons, everybody knows that. Rotos was actually a fusion champ, but I wasn't able to fuse him when I played the game. I think I just barely started when Rotos came out. I didn't have the progression needed to finish out those fusions. Those fusions back then were hard, bro. They were like very resource and time intensive compared to the fusions we get now. Dark Elaine is a arena nuking champ. You know, you want her. Probably if you never pull an arena champ later on, she might be like 6-star number 11 for you, or number 12, or number 8, probably as soon as number 8. But you want Dark Elaine, and if you're gonna use her as an arena champ, the only books you really want on her is oopsie. Let's put that away. The only books you want on her is 2 books deep on her A3 to get you the plus 15% damage. That's it. That's all you want. Okay. But yeah, this team was hard carried by Gorgo. But you'd be like, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 6-star champs should be easy peasy, right? Nope. Valkyrie waves basically laugh at the face of this comp. So how I got through the Valkyrie waves was my boy Elegaeus over here. So this is where the utility comes in, right? So you want Reviver, right? Check it. Okay. Oh, shoot. You want Revive. Revive is number 1, right? Number 2 is Heals. Number 3, Control. But number 4 is Utility. Okay? And Elegaeus is freaking utility, broskies. Alright? He takes out the Valkyrie waves by putting this dead stop skill on all the dupes. So if this clicks on one Valkyrie, basically neuters the rest, allows you to focus fire on one of them, take them out, repeat the process, right? That's how I got through. Took a little bit of RNG, but it happened. And now we're going to be looking at another faction war crypt like Dark Elves that got a boost with Vizix, you know. So at 9 months, is it 9 months into the game? I think, yeah, at 9 months into the game, Vizix should allow you to finish Faction Wars 21 for Dark Elves, right? But definitely Kale is most people's starter. He's extremely strong, you know, as a starter, good everywhere in a good game. Clan boss, arena, campaign farming, everything. I used everything for Kale, right? And then check this out. Painkeeper, another rare, a void rare, but a rare that pairs mandatorily with Maneater for the budget unkillable comp, right? Spider is just kind of like an all-around debuffer type champ. So much utility. Like this A1 takes out a buff. This A3 puts out decreased attack and lowers buff duration by 1 turn, all enemies. This one puts decreased def and weaken at the same time. The weak kind of weaken, but the strong kind of decreased defense. Plus, you get a 25% speed aura in dungeons. You know, he is definitely an underrated guy. You should definitely look into Spider, especially for Dark Elves. But really, the main carry of this is Control from Sylar. Okay, so if you don't have Sylar yet, you should definitely try to get her. She puts speed out for your Faction Wars teams, but what she does is AoE decrease speed and decrease turn meter, and then decrease accuracy, but it's really just another AoE move because you're going to have her on stun set right here, right? So, again, right? Oh, sorry. What did I do there? Yeah, you want control, revive. You want revive, healing, control, and then utility. All right. So the reviver here is actually the weakest champ in the lineup. Fang Cleric. So that's how important a reviver is. Your weakest champ is the most important champ because that's what gets you the 3-star, right? Is the revives. Now for the faction that I had the most trouble with, Knight Revenant. How many 6-star champs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 6-star champs. Plus Burgoth is fully booked. So there is a backstory here. I didn't have to 6-star this many champs for Knight Revenant. All right. So let's get this out of the way. Coffin Smasher was kind of like a transitionary champ I used to get through Fire Knights, early stages of Fire Knights, right? While also being kind of like a budget comp piece for my F2P content that I did on Reddit. I still do on Reddit. Follow me on Reddit, WSoul13 on Reddit. And Acolyte was another failed attempt at me trying to do Spiders 20, you know, without the legendaries and all that stuff. Because it was a challenge I put on myself. I got through the challenge. Took me about 8 months to do. But the point is, Acolyte sucks. Don't 6-star this guy. This guy's horrible. So really, Miscreated Monster I got from a 10x. Sepulchre Sentinel is one of the first epics I got in the game. And she is amazing, right? But really, the team came together when I finally pulled Sinesha and Skullcrown. I think in 10x events. I think in 10x events, or maybe not. But you just pull out of shards. Eventually, you're gonna get champs like these, and that'll just happen over time. By the way, so the reason why I want people to play in fusion events because you just get more value for your shards. You know, you get like points, you get books, you get a fusion champ at the end of it. Maybe even just the epics, or even the rares. You know, some of the rares I got from fusion champ events actually, like Soulbound Boyer, like Frozen Banshee. You know, these are ones I got from fusion events. Even Stitch Beast to a lesser degree. Right? Okay. So really, it's all about Faceless. So Faceless has this A3 that ignores shield, block damage, and death. That's it. So that gets you through the Valkyrie waves. But he also gets a 30% increased crit rate. That means you can build him with just 70% crit rate, and he should be able to do his thing. But really, you know, I had him with Miscreated Monster, Sinesha, Skullcrown, and Doom Priest. So you'd think, oh, that's a shoo-in. You're going to finish. Nope. You can get through the waves, but the boss is extremely hard, yo. Because it's extremely hard. You don't have a reviver for that, like, crit that he'll do every now and then. Well, RNG has got to be on your side, right? So it's possible the RNG has to be on your side, and the RNG of it takes 20 to 30 minutes a piece. I just simply didn't have the time. But finally, I poured Rector Draft. All right. So here's the thing about RNGing through Faction Wars. It takes time. If I skipped all the fusion events, right, maybe I could have gotten through Faction Wars a little bit faster. But my overall roster would be weaker significantly because I didn't get some of the fusion champs like Brogni. Brogni's really strong for Doom Tower, right? So that's how you think about the game, you know. Think long. Play it long. Because the game is meant to be played over a year, to be honest, right? To get through everything. Check this out. So Rector Draft is the reason why I got through Faction Wars finally. Let's move that out of the way. Alright, check this out. Skills. Decrease attack on the A1. You need that for the boss to mitigate damage. Heal with Veil. Plus continuous heal if they're not topped off. Once they do have the Veil on, you heal 10% every time they take a turn. And finally, a revive with Veil on it. Wow. 3 turns as well. That's really strong. He's one of the best revivers in the game, period. And of course, he's going to be amazing in Faction Wars. And then Dwarves is another sticky one because the reason I got through was because of this lady right here, Melga. Shields, continuous heal, and double revive on this skill. Also, this A1 can take some debuffs away. Not that important. We're gonna build her high resist, right? High resist, high HP, high speed. Melga is amazing. That's how I got through this. But there are kind of like double rear guard comps that you can do here to get you through. But basically, if you don't have a healer reviver, you're gonna need to outfit everybody with some kind of lifesteal set. right? Like I do here, lifesteal set on these three, or like immortal set, like I have with Mountain King has immortal set. Yeah, so even a level 50 Mountain King smacks pretty hard in Faction Wars. So if I had 6-starred him, it'll probably make it easier. Yeah, so that's basically it. I even have Trunda, another champ I haven't really done. And then, of course, I haven't filled out my Shadowkin roster yet, which is perfect because I'm already done. So, that's it. That's the roster. Let's count the 6-star champs, right? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, 42, 45, 48, 51, 54, 55, 56. 56 6-star champs in about 60 weeks of work. So I finished Faction Wars about 1 year, 5 months playing into the game. 8 legendary champs, 6-starred. Majority of them has got to be in the epics, right? Yeah, majority of the power in this game comes from epics. Never forget that, okay? So, hopefully you had fun going through my roster and what I did to finish all the Faction War stages. This will be accompanied by an F2P update on Reddit. So follow me on Reddit, WSoul13. Subscribe to me here. See y'all next time.